Welcome to Femme Furious, a podcast where pop culture meets a feminine framing. I am your host, Julia Rose Portela. I am joined by my co-host, my cat Sherlock. Can't see him on video, but he may pop up. You can't obviously hear him on audio. I just want everyone to know that there is a co-host today, and he is here. He wants the world to know that he exists. He is my firstborn cat. Okay. I might have fucked up a little bit when I chose the title for the show. Do you know how much music exists out in the world? And for those of you who are listening, I want to, first of all, thank you for listening, by the way. The podcast has been out for a full week, and I have been blown away by how many people are actually listening to this. So thank you for listening. If you're here and you're listening to this right now, a little bit of a different episode today because I am a music lover at heart. For those of you who know me best, you know that I have a talent, and this talent is that I absolutely rule at any sort of music game as far as like name that tune, that type of deal. I love music so much. And so I was really excited to do this Femme Anthem when I was putting all of my content together and I was sort of seeing like what world content is out there, what sort of conversational content is out there. And I wanted to do a music episode. I wanted to touch on all mediums within the first month of having the podcast out. Well, I was getting really overwhelmed. And then I was delaying it. I wrote like every other episode that needed to get written except for this one. And I kept putting it off and I kept putting it off. And then I just decided to say, fuck it. We're going to do the top 10 feel-good Femme Anthems from 2024. I didn't really envision when thinking about doing a music episode just how many Femme Anthems there have been over the past 70 years. And I didn't want to leave anything out. So I think maybe we'll do this sort of thing by decade. So we're just going to do a quickie. We're going to test the waters and do just 2024. And even that was really difficult and really a big challenge. So when I say quickie, I just mean, hey, we're just going to go through these really quick. I'll say a little blurb about each one and we'll be done for the day. Before we dive into today's episode, let me tell you how you can follow the pod. First and foremost, you can subscribe to the podcast, and I encourage you to please, and thank you, subscribe to the podcast so we grow and more people find us. So if you've been listening to Femme Furious and you've been enjoying it, please like and subscribe. I know everyone says that, but we say it for a reason because it really does help. And if you would like to leave a review, that would also be incredibly helpful. You can listen to the podcast on any of the major podcast networks, and you can watch the podcast if you would like to do a video podcast. I promise you my hands are often entertaining. They're not right now because I am petting my cat off screen, but most of the time my hands are doing wild stuff. Okay, my hands are entertainment all on their own. And is the perk of being Italian. So you can watch all of that on YouTube and also on Spotify. There are video podcasts now on Spotify, so you can watch me there. You can also follow the podcast on Instagram at Femme Furious Pod. You can send me an email. The inbox is open, and I am ready to talk to you about anything that's happening in The Last of Us. If you're following The Last of Us coverage, I am super excited to hear your opinions about the Femme Anthems from 2024. I'm interested in anything that you have to say. I would love to hear from you, to talk to you, to connect with you. So you can send me an email over at femmeandfuriouspod@gmail.com. And last but not least, join the Two Femme Two Furious community, which is currently having a sale. It's $1 to join. It's 90% off, so you'll pay $10 every month after, but it's $1 to join today. And you would just use the word launch, LAUNCH, at checkout. And that gives you Femme Furious Fully Loaded, which are bonus podcast episodes exclusive only to the membership. You get a 15% discount on merch and live events. You get Sunday Brunch, which is a virtual monthly hangout. You get the Suffragette Award, voting privileges on episode topics, bonus content, and more. And by the way, one of the things that we will be voting on is a commemorative tattoo that I will be getting, hopefully, fingers crossed, at some point within the first year of Femme Furious being out. You will also get access to Tea Time, which is our online chat. And then you also get the Fast Five, which is a weekly content roundup. Okay. Now that you know how you can hang out with me out of the podcast, let's jump into the Femme Frame as we reflect back on all of the feel-good Femme Anthems from 2024. And even doing this for just 1 year was really fucking hard. So I'm going to start with Let Her Cook by Glorilla. Because when the song opens with Never Gave a Damn, I never gave no fuck, that is a vibe. And I know this wasn't necessarily her breakthrough song, but I do feel like this is where people started to talk about Glow a little bit more. I have the song at 10 because even though there is a lot of I'm better than you, it's at the expense of other women in the duration of the song. And I wanted to take that into consideration versus how it gets used online, because this song became a social media sensation and was often connected to things that are quite empowering for women or for women that are celebrating big wins. I have yet to see this online used in a way that is disempowering towards other women. I have only ever seen other women using it to hype themselves up or to hype up a bunch of women in a scenario. So I love that this song turned into like a, yeah, I did that anthem online. And so I'm really thinking about the online presence when I am taking this song into consideration. Coming in at number 9 is Sports Car by Tate McRae. I feel like Tate is another one of those artists who is just all over the internet in 2024. She's a born entertainer. The song is laid over a track that sounds like Button from the Pussycat Dolls. So it's already got that steamy, sexy feeling that we get, and it's reminiscent for people who are millennials who grew up listening to the Pussycat Dolls as sort of like in the midst of our hormonal awakening. So I'm not sure if they're exactly the same song, but they're in the same camp. They're like in the same vein. And the song is, Tate McRae's song is sexy and it is fun. And Tate's getting laid. And I love that for her. It's like a modern version of the Whisper song because she's singing all low. It's really seductive. And if I'm being really honest here, this song is a great shower song. Okay, coming in at number 8, Saturn by SZA. You know when Belle wistfully runs through an open meadow and belts out that there must be more than this provincial life? If you could bottle up that feeling that you got watching that in the 90s and turn it into a pop hit, it would be Saturn. This song just felt so poignant in a space in time when women's rights are being actively threatened and diminished. Technically, as a professional astrologer, I will say that Saturn is actually a masculine planet, but still, this idea of trying to reconcile the world and the spiritual experience is one that I certainly think about all of the time. Remember when we were young girls and we would chant about boys going to Jupiter to get more stupider? Something about this song reminds me of that, but in a way that's like, maybe all of us should just be like Katy Perry and jet off into space. Like maybe it shouldn't be 11 minutes and we come back and we kiss the ground facetiously. Maybe we should just stay in space and start a woman's cosmic commune. Maybe that was this feminist movement that they were trying to do over this past week. I'm not sure, but I really like that idea. And if we did start a woman's cosmic commune, this song, Saturn by SZA, would be our national anthem. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk for that one. Number 7 goes to Diet Pepsi by Addison Rae. Okay, have you ever been on Instagram and then seen some of those ads that are like, just disappear for 30 days and come back better? That's what Addison Rae did. I feel like she fell off the face of the earth and completely rebranded herself with this song when she released the song. Like another huge internet smash success. I was singing this song all the time because of Instagram Reels. I was singing this song in my head all of the time, like just that chorus, the lyrics. And then I was like, what is the full song? Like, who sings this? What is this? And I was like, oh my God, it's Addison Rae. Anyway, I love this song. The lyrics are reminiscent of that young love feeling, though clearly Addison Rae was having better sex than I was when she lost her virginity versus like when I lost my virginity, because the song is very steamy and has some like adult things that I didn't discover until I was an adult that I liked. Obviously, in the song, she's having sex in the backseat of a car, which for me would just be a no-go in my 30s. But she's currently 24, so she's in a different phase. Anyway, there's some like sexy writing my name with my tongue on your chest, like type of vibes. That's what I mean when I'm like, I was not doing that when I lost my virginity. Anyway, I'm sorry if anyone's listening to me that doesn't want to know about my sex life, because I'm not doing any of that now, because now I'm in my 30s, and instead of my love not costing a thing, my love now takes 3 to 5 business days for me to approve your application. But if I do approve your application, this song, Diet Pepsi, would definitely be on our Smash playlist. Number 6, Denial is a River by Doechii. There was something about 2024 that just let art be art. And I really enjoyed Doechii being a part of this. She wasn't the only one, but in a world where we're just constantly on streaming, like you can just wake up and an artist that is one of the top trending artists can just release an album on Spotify, and there's not really as much promotion. It feels like the time that is leading up to the marketing that's leading up to some of these albums and the albums themselves are becoming a little bit more creative, especially in a time too where we're seeing, unlike TV, which has gotten shorter and shorter, we're getting less and less per season and longer stretches of time that it takes for a season to come out. Songs are becoming shorter, but there's more songs per album, because that is what streams higher. It gives the artist essentially more money because you're streaming 25 of their songs versus like 15 of their songs. So I really enjoy Doechii. Kendrick Lamar was another one. Charlie XCX was another one. Sabrina Carpenter, who put in so much to the art piece, the branding piece, and this song, Denial is a River, this song is art. It is not necessarily highbrow art, but it is art. It's fun, it's catchy, it has something to say, it's got a lovely dose of feminine rage, and the video has a fair amount of satire flowing throughout it. The video is a part of the art. It reminds me a little bit of how TLC used to be, for those of you who remember TLC. We also just love a girly on this podcast who can be self-aware. And this song, whether it's true or not, is a depiction of her ability to turn inward and reflect on her experiences. Number 5 goes to Charlie XCX and 360 off of her new album. Listen, if you create a whole movement, aka Brat Summer, I think you deserve to be on this list. There were so many good songs off of Brat, but 360 stands out to me. Not only is the beat great, but it's got lyrics that you can just plug yourself into them so easily. There are certain songs that are really good and that they can be femme anthems, but they do not have a blanket essence that everyone can plug themselves into. But it doesn't matter what kind of woman you are, how you perceive your femininity. Lyrics like, looking like an icon, when you're in the mirror, do you like what you see, etc., etc. For those of you who can see, co-host right now is joining us. Sherlock is getting some scritches on screen. You can see a version of the music video where there's just all different types of people, different body sizes, different shapes, different gender expressions of femininity, different colors of their skin. You can see all of that being a part of the music video with a bunch of people just looking into a mirror and being like, when you're in the mirror, do you like what you see? Bumping that, you know, dancing around, having a good time listening to this song, having a party with all these different people. And that's why I think the song works so well, because even if you have no idea what I'm talking about, if you listen to the lyrics and you go listen to the song, and then you envision that, just a bunch of people who look different, who have different expressions of their femininity, that they could all be the person singing the song. That is a perfect femme anthem. Perfect femme anthem. So having songs that are not just relatable, but having lyrics that could also just represent anybody who is listening to it. Chef's kiss. 10 out of 10, no notes. Number 4. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart by Taylor Swift. Listen, Taylor is a mastermind at taking an experience of womanhood or girlhood and making it into a smash hit. We like her and we keep liking her because she keeps talking about things that we all relate to and puts it into lyrical prose of a song, and we gobble it up. And while I love the artistic direction of Tortured Poets Department, at the end of the day, this and Fortnite were the 2 songs that made it to the top of the charts. Now, do I, on my own podcast, have to choose a song that was on the top of the charts? No, I do not. And The Smallest Man Who Ever Lived and So High School were both also on my list of songs to put on this top 10. But really, between the pop beat of this song, it was not giving sad girl energy, which a lot of Tortured Poets Department, sorry to say, it's not feel good when it's sad girl. And that doesn't mean we don't need sad girl music. You need sad girl music. But a lot of Tortured Poets Department was sad girl music. And this song has that good pop beat. It's got good lyrics. And it's danceable. But it's I cry a lot, but I am so productive. It's an art line. Had to be the reason why I chose this song. Because I do not think there is anything more relatable to a woman than being in a horrible state, whether that is physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and still performing well. I am taking the most basic example of this. Like, hello, we go and do things on our period. We are actively bleeding. Our uterus will be actively shedding for those of us who get periods. And we will still go out and be so productive. It's an art. And there are obviously other times, but I think this idea of womanhood and what it is to be a woman or to be femme-leaning and to experience this notion of spinning every plate and having to be overwhelmed by that and not feeling like there's enough support. I think that is a baseline for how a lot of women experience life. So I love this line. I love the song. It was my favorite song off of the album. And I'm happy that I got to make it onto this list that I have personally chosen by me, myself, and my brain. Number 3, Good Luck Babe by Chappell Roan. It doesn't matter if it's a queer anthem. It doesn't matter that it's a breakup song. I'm convinced this is the ultimate song for all people who have ever experienced a situationship of any kind, no matter your sexual preference. You cannot help but sing the song. You can't help it. The song comes on and you want to participate. You want to belt it out. It is a collective experience. I think it's great. We love a girl who knows her worth. We've all been there. We have all been in love, lust, or like with somebody who doesn't really reciprocate all the way. And this song embodies the essence of, what are you doing? Why don't you like me as much as I like you? Let's see you do better. And then, spoiler alert, when you inevitably separate with your situationship or your ex, they never do better. You are the epitome. Cheers to you and Chappell Roan. Number 2, Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, a song that had me in a chokehold from day one. It's so unserious, but so undeniably catchy. Remember in 2020 when WAP came out and we were all gagged and like Femme Anthem of 2020 in the saddest way because we were all home and couldn't be out at the clubs with it while I was still in my 20s. Imagine just being a little more coy and insinuating that your pussy is so good it can keep somebody up all night. Hashtag power moves. If I could get, I can't relate to desperation, my give a fucks are on vacation, tattooed on my forehead as a walking advertisement for my default settings, I absolutely would. This song is a bop. I don't care if you don't like it. We are never skipping this in my car. Number 1, Defying Gravity by Elphaba, played by Cynthia Erivo. Do you hate the patriarchy and love animals? Great. Then this is your ultimate anthem. I don't care what anyone has to say. There is not a more empowering femme anthem in the fucking world. I'm probably being dramatic and maybe a little bit hasty, and there might be some recency bias included in that, but this song has always been such a power ballad. It's amazing to get to hear Cynthia do this. I will cry every time I hear the song, no matter who is singing it, because it is that good, because you can resonate with it, because we are all Elphaba right now. We are all just fighting the patriarchy. We are all just trying to connect with our authentic self and boost our integrity. And this song helps us do that. It's a fucking amazing song. I could not be more thrilled that Wicked came out and did so well in pop culture. We will see how Wicked Part 2 for good will fare in pop culture. We'll see how that goes. But Wicked Part 1, Defying Gravity, number 1 on my Femme Anthem for 2024. All right, everybody. This is a quickie, but sometimes a quickie is all you need. Let's crack open the burn book before we head out today and see what our superlatives for this episode are. Our 5 honorary awards are as followed. The Bold and Bothered Award, and this one goes out to our Queen of Queer, Chapel Roan. The Shiro Award, Our Mother, who art in eras, Taylor be thy name. The Femme Fatale Award, Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba, standing up for human and animal rights alike. Speak Your Truth Trophy. If I could just insert the battle cry from Defying Gravity, that would be great. I'm not going to attempt it here because as much as I am loving having a podcast, if I did that, people would not come back. And last but not least, honorary heartthrob, Diet Pepsi AAF 143. I would have posted this on my AIM profile all the time if this had come out in the early 2000s. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Femme Furious. I would love if you resonated with this to share it out with your friends, share it on social media. Feel free to subscribe to the podcast again. Leave me a review or leave me a comment or send me an email with what you thought about the top 10 because this was really difficult and I was really nervous about recording this episode. I'll be back on Monday with a full episode breakdown of The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 2, if you are following along with The Last of Us coverage. If not, I will be back here next Thursday talking about The Bathroom Bestie. Until then, go blast your favorite femme anthems. See you Monday. Bye.